Okay, let's do this for the 17th time now, because I didn't realize that I could just change my time settings for broadcasting and extend the clips, so I don't have to rush anymore. This is, whew, the freedom, the leisure. It's refreshing. Today, I'm going to take you through the murky depths of ESO PvP and be your shepherd in the realm of stamdks. So, that's what we've got here. Stamdk. He's a Nord, and it is a he, I can assure you. Airmock, bear tamer, very, very masculine. And I swear I'm not compensating. Anyways, with the effects that I've got on just passively, I like to run skulls for that extra health recovery. And then tower, because it's always nice to have a nice, juicy stand pool. And with the weapons, I do something sort of interesting. Well, with the whole set itself, I do something pretty cool. So I run 3 2-piece sets, 1 3-piece, and 1 5-piece. The 2-piece sets are, as you can see here, Maelstroms, and then the Vadishrans 2H. And it's double 2H, and you go, well, Robert, why would you do that? Well, that's because I have an unhealthy addiction to dots, and I just can't get enough of this big, fat, juicy dot you get off of Maelstroms here. 13k over 5 seconds. I mean, that is a sexy dot right there. I throw the disease enchant on it for that minor defile, because obviously with dots it would behoove you to fuck with people's health recovery. So I just do a little bit of that, on top of the fact that I get that nice little damage proc whenever that goes off for me, and I have some bonuses to poison damage, which helps that out. With the Vadishrans, I run the double dot poisons, because can't go wrong there. It's just another dot to put on, and that's what this build's all about. Dots. Just taking them down, just melting them. And maybe we'll incorporate that into the name of this build, which I haven't decided yet. That's cool. That's cool to think about. Weapon monster set here, I've got Grothars on because it's the most recent thing that I golded. I wanted to try it out a little bit. It's definitely great. The extra mag, I mean, I suppose it helps since you are using Magicka spells with this build, but I would rather have physical penetration or health recovery or something. But the 2-piece bonus is obviously great. You're running the Maelstrom 2H, so you've got crit rush on, which means you're applying that big fat dot. And then if you've got Grothars to proc from a distance, you can always just close the distance. That's one of the main functions of the build. There's tons of other viable stuff here. I mean, Blood Spawns, people like to say Blood Spawns is out of the meta. Blood Spawns is still, it's definitely decent. You couldn't say that it's bad. It'll definitely help you just continually proc your ults, which is always a huge advantage. Infernal, and I should mention now that I think of things entirely through the realm of PvP, so I'm not even thinking about PvE application here. I'm just thinking about what you're going to look like in BGs and Overworld and dueling. But Infernal actually does have its place in duels, but where it does not is BGs or Overworld. So I would not run that set under any circumstance, personally, in PvP. Molag, can't go wrong with Molag. This build does have a lot of resource gain on it, so that extra cost for your abilities is not going to be that big of a deal. And that damage is obviously going to be something very welcome to the build because it's lacking in that. So if you want to run that, by all means, go for it. I'd like to see that versus my variation. Engine Guardians, another one of my favorites, just to push your sustain over the edge. I mean, just to go completely insane on people. And the other thing about it that people don't talk about too often, or maybe they do, is that it gives you that meat shield that is your little Dwemer that pops up. So sometimes that can save your ass, and obviously that is what the ESO PvP community would see as a bitch-made way to escape damage, but it is very, very effective in that sense. And it also puts your health recovery. I mean, I guess this is technically, it says restore. No, so that is regen. So that pushes your regen for your health with this build at maximum well over 6,000, which is just fantastic. I mean, you can't go wrong there. And then you're using vigor with that, so you got a big old burst heal that is also a heal over time, stacking on top of 6k health regen. I mean, that's insane. It's really strong. I don't even talk about Troll Kings because personally I think these other set like Engine Guardian just kicks it right out of the meta because it's just superior. It's just better. Battle Orgs. Another thing that you can definitely run on this build, although if I were going to, with this particular setup, I would probably focus more around weapon damage, maybe put on Undaunted Metal, which I still need to unlock on this character, actually. I do think Undaunted Metal is something you'll always want on this build, if you can have it, but right now I'm running 7 heavy, just because I don't have Undaunted to 10 yet. But Battle Orgs, definitely viable. Malabeth, you know, maybe not so much. I wouldn't even worry about that. Maul, though, you can't go wrong with Maul. I mean, 33% chance on your lighter heavies, which are going to be weaving constantly. So, you know, and look at that, 4,700 for each thing that it does, and it alternates between all those attacks. So, I guess when you break that down, when you break that damage down, I'm not really sure what the difference between Fiery Breath, Fiery Jaws, and Jagged Claw. I would imagine, and I'm taking a guess here, that Fiery Breath is AoE, Fiery Jaws is single target, and Jagged Claw is single target. So when you cut that damage in half for the 2 seconds, what does that come out to? 2.365, like, so 2,365 damage per tick, which actually is right along the line of Grothdar. And Grothar's got a 50% uptime, and it's also golded, I should mention. And this has 100% uptime. So yeah, really, I mean, I guess that pretty much settles it. This Maul would be superior to Grothar's, I would think. I mean, I guess there's ways that people can escape the Daedroth by streaking or something along those lines. I don't know if they can interrupt it. I know they can't damage it. So that's an interesting thing to think about. There's, with those stats that we just looked at here, I would say that it would be hard to make an argument that Maw isn't objectively better than Grothar's. Anyways, moving on. Falcon Scorias. Selene's fantastic. Isart, whatever. Bogdan's obviously not. Falcons, though, all you're doing with this build is throwing on dots. Nothing else to say there. I mean, it's not as big of a proc as you can get from things. The Zons would be good for this build, but Falcon Scoria is great. You can't go wrong. Not much else to say about that. Matter of fact, why not? Why don't we throw it on? How about that? How about we put that on and fuck around with that for a little while? Oh, that's the problem. That's medium. Oof. That's no big deal though. That does sort of, I don't want to say significantly, but it definitely affects our resistances. Beyond that, you've got Eternal Vigor. Can't go wrong here. Just more sustain. That's what this build's about. Just staying alive and just debilitating whoever you're fighting. It's a slow melt. You're slow burning them. So you've got the 450 recovery of each kind in here, and that's basically all the time. And then your 976 health recovery. So they essentially give you Troll Kings on a 100% basis. When you're below 50%, you don't have to cast a heal or any of that. There's no requirement. You just get that recovery, which is, it's kick-ass. Extra health because fuck off, you're not going to kill me, right? That's the whole point of the build. And then the 3-piece. Even more fuck off, you're not going to kill me. 596 health recovery. Everything else on it is stam recovery, right? You got the maximum health because just a tad more fuck off, you're not going to kill me. Infuse on the neck for just a little bit more stamina recovery, because fuck you, I'm gonna kill you, right? And that's the whole deal, man. So tell me what you think. First build video. Tell me what I did wrong in the comments. Tell me what you would change. I'm way excited to get some people that want to fight me. I play on PS4, so something to keep in mind. And you can find me right here, where it all goes down, where Gooch became Gooch, where I get shit on by Templars. Ooh, which is the problem with this build, I should say, before I close it out. Templars will fuck you up. Anyone who's just going to focus on purifying your dots will fuck you up. And there's not much you can do about that except hope to God that their sustain is dog shit, so that you can just continually put dots on them, because that's all you're going to be able to do. And then beyond that, you know, maybe their resistances are low. Hit them with that dizzy. Hit them with that execute. Pop them with that Dawnbreaker. You know what to do. Pots, you know, everyone has their own preferences for pots. I won't tell you what to do, but I love tri-stats. I love movabilities. I put these on for shits and gigs. So do with that what thou wilt, and tell me what you think. Peace.